So back to play. Most of us know the importance of play in child development, and perhaps have been part of a revival for free play that many of us grew up with, where play is freely chosen, personally directed, and intrinsically motivated without adult supervision or direction. It is this kind of play that ignites curiosity and engages children in the world around them and their imaginary worlds. Creativity is stimulated. Maslow is quoted as saying that almost all creativity is the result of purposeful play. In play, adaptability is practiced, and this is good training for the unexpected, especially in our ever-changing world. Risky play allows children to learn hazard assessment and helps them learn their own limits and to honor their limits, whether it's physical or psychological limits, and actually they become more safe. Research supports rough and tumble play, even play fighting, which is sometimes banned these days, as it provides important social skill development in kids learning to read and respond to body language and facial expressions. And the list goes on and on. Problem solving, empathy, and more. But play is also important for adults. Play is really deeply embedded in our biological roots, in our evolutionary heritage. It's not just primates who play. Birds play, spiders play. You've likely seen lots of video clips of animal play and interspecies play, despite their predator-prey evolutions. Unfortunately, our society tends to dismiss play for adults, perceiving it as unproductive, petty, even a guilty pleasure. The notion that once we reach adulthood, it's time to get serious. Between our personal and professional responsibilities, there's no time to play. And if we do, it's often competitive play. And competitive play is one of the many different types of play. And since it's so well known to us, I'm going to focus on other types of play today, such as imaginative play. And this includes daydreaming, fantasizing, playing with ideas and images. Here's what the New York Times invites us to play with. Each week, they provide a cartoon in need of a caption. And Casey's going to give us a cartoon and see if you can come up with a caption. You're welcome to share it out loud in the church with each other or put something in the chat if you can come up with a caption. For me, I need lots more time, but feel free to if you're quicker. And here's what got voted best caption. So some of us play with words as we use puns, do crossword puzzles, and tell jokes. Linda has a joke for us.
This is a dad joke. This was my grandfather's joke. What did one strawberry say to the other?
What?
If you hadn't been so fresh, we wouldn't be in this jam.
Wish we could hear the groans too. Thank you, Linda. And here's a clip of the master of wordplay, George Carlin. We're just going to listen to a minute of it, but I'll post the link if you want to hear the rest.
I'm a high-tech lowlife, a cutting-edge, state-of-the-art, bi-coastal multitasker, and I can give you a gigabyte in a nanosecond. I'm new wave, but I'm old school, and my inner child is outward bound. I'm a hot-wired, heat-seeking, warm-hearted, cool customer, voice-activated and biodegradable. I interface with my database. My database is in cyberspace, so I'm interactive, I'm hyperactive, and from time to time, I'm radioactive. Behind the 8 ball, ahead of the curve, riding the wave, dodging the bullet, pushing the envelope. I'm on point, on task, on message, and off drugs. I got no need for coke and speed. I got no urge to binge and purge. I'm in the moment, on the edge, over the top, but under the radar. A high-concept, low-profile, medium-range ballistic missionary. A streetwise smart bomb. A Top Gun bottom feeder. I wear power ties, I tell power lies, I take power naps, I run victory laps. I'm a totally ongoing Bigfoot slam dunk rainmaker with a proactive outreach. A raging workaholic. A working rageaholic. Out of rehab and in denial.
So I posted a link there if you want to watch and listen to the rest of them. He is a master. So playing with words. Flirting is playing with gestures and words. Charades plays with mimicry and gestures. April Fool's pranks were a favorite in my family, and they didn't just happen on April 1st. I love improv comedy where actors perform without a script, just like our storytellers did today, right? Did so well. And my favorite, of course, is the wit and spontaneity of Robin Williams. The show Whose Line Is It Anyway is also a favorite. And the actors merge into a shared energy with one another and allow scenes to spontaneously develop in real time. It's a letting go of any outcome, letting go of social filters, and staying open to what's happening in the moment, trusting that the play instinct will emerge. Play can be found everywhere in life. One of the defining elements of jazz improvisation is the spontaneous invention of melodic solo lines or accompaniment parts. It is composing on the spot as the spirit moves them. And this is a bit of a lead into what Diane Ackerman refers to as deep play. Her description of deep play includes characteristics of absorption, non-attachment, and transcendence. So absorption refers to being in a state of reverie and flow with no sense of time. Perhaps you felt that, being fully immersed in the moment. Secondly, non-attachment, a state of release from the self and the material world. And third, transcendence, where one goes beyond the ordinary, beyond the ego, and towards actualization, growth, and a sense of oneness with the world. Deep play is classified by mood, not activity. It testifies to how something happens, not what happens. And many of these deep play experiences can be found in the arts, religion, and in adventure sports. So play can range from silly moments to intense, transcendent, deep play, and everything in between. And before we talk about play in our current lives, I'm going to invite us to take our moment, our minute of meditation for a reflection and ask you to see if you can reconnect to a bit of your play history. So I invite you to see if you can call forth a memory of a play episode that stands out because of its awe or some special quality, or maybe it wasn't all that special, but you engaged in it repetitively because of the sense of delight and enjoyment it afforded. So, and think about the context, where you were, who you were with, and try to tune into the feeling. So we'll take that moment now to close your eyes, just relax and drift back and see what bubbles up from within of a play episode that stands out. And you can keep your eyes closed if you're getting closer to something, but if you need a few prompts, Casey's going to show some short clips of some images that might jog your memory. See if any of them help you recall. And we can't have pictures for every type of play, right? For fantasy, storytelling, those kind of things. But if you did connect to something special, what was it that made it so special? Was it a sense of freedom? Was it a social connection, relational? Was it the risk, the excitement, the challenge? Was it an expressive, a creative expression? A sense of autonomy? Or did you just get absorbed in the sensory feel of it? Did you lose your sense of small self and connect to something greater? Perhaps a connection to the natural world? And the reason I ask you why this play episode, this memorable one, might be so important is I'm wondering if there might be an element or an aspect that still calls to your soul. Could there be something today that still wants to be rekindled and re-experienced in your life? Even if it isn't jumping off the garage these days. Because it's not so much what you are doing that makes it play, but your experience with it. I've talked to quilters who feel they're playing with fabric, patterns, design, and they're absorbed and immersed, and they're one with their materials, their group. For me, I'd be tense and frustrated and all that, so it wouldn't be playful for me. So let's play for one, it's not for another. And so for those of us who want to bring a little more playfulness, lightness into our lives, how might we bring that same element into life today, assuming that our bodies may not be able to do some of the things that gave us delight decades ago? So I had memories of real sensory things. I loved mud, slime, Play-Doh, sand, things that I could, work my hands through. And I still get a sense of delight. And just so you know, if you ever eat my muffins, I don't use utensils to stir. I'm in there, right? Not just for better mixing, but because I love the sensory feel of it. And my hands in the soil. So it's that same element, but just met in a different type of activity. So if you have a sense of what draws you, maybe you love skipping, how might that be expressed? For many people, skipping is about rhythm, right? So that can be met in dancing and drumming, all kinds of music, right? And even if you used to love climbing trees, and that's not a safe activity anymore. Maybe it's the view from a top that you also enjoyed, and a hike up a mountain could give you that same feeling. You know, I used to love hanging upside down from trees, and I still like upside down. And I loved walking on beams or fences, those balancing kind of things. And I hadn't put this together, but one of my favorite activities today is paddleboarding. So it's still a balancing activity. And on a good day, I can do a headstand. So the upside down is still there. So think about, you know, even marbles is a target sport or a game, right? So maybe you'd like bocce or something else where you're not having to lie on the ground and flick marbles. If you loved fort building, you might build a miniature village around your grandchild's train set. Axe throwing, I love it. And if you love swimming in the lake, you know what you can do? You can swim in the lake. So not everything has to change, right? But just, you know, the point here is to encourage you to continue playing and experience the felt benefits of play to our spirit. And play in adulthood has been shown to relieve stress, release endorphins, brain functionality. This brain-derived neurotropic factor increases, which grows brain cells and stimulates creativity, wards off depression, improves our immune system and our relationships. It can even get us and keep us feeling young and energetic. And in the words of George Bernard Shaw, we don't stop playing because we grow old. We grow old because we stop playing. So here's just one idea I've never tried out, but I thought I'd just toss it out as an idea. If you're singers or in musical circles, I was thinking if you had cards, two piles of cards, and when it's your turn, you take a card from each pile. And one pile is the name of well-known singers who have unique voices. And the other pile is well-known songs. And then, so imagine if you picked Johnny Cash singing Girls Just Want to Have Fun. You know? So the spontaneity of trying to mix two different things and have some fun with it. I've played hide and seek in the dark with adults inside a big house, and we turned the breaker off and we paired off in twos. And in the dark, we hid together, and it's really hard not to giggle when the its are walking by, and the its are paired and they have one flashlight, right? But the whole house is dark and different stairs. And so still playing. And my Winnipeg friends used to host a backwards night for kids and parents together. They greeted us with a goodbye, please come again. And they gave us name tags that spelt our names backwards. So I was Enedge, and my son Spencer was Rekneps. For the evening, we wore our clothes backwards, we walked in backwards, we ate our meal backwards, dessert first, and we said hello when we left. So if we do breakout rooms afterwards, please feel free to share how you bring an attitude of playfulness into your lives. And yes, our pets and our grandchildren can keep us playful, but we don't need to use them as excuse to play. We don't need to have them. So whether it be playing with ideas, with words, sounds, objects, and whether we're alone or with others, whether we're in the kitchen playing with spices, at the beach building sandcastles, or creating in our workshops, may you play your way every day. Play to and for your heart's content. Our lives may depend upon it.